So you might be asking yourself, Scott, where's the intro? Where's that witty verbiage that you normally use in industrial talk? Where's the continuity between what we're going to be talking about and this intro? Well, let's just say we are in an iterative process for a new project, a new podcast that will begin to expand upon things, marketing and sales challenges of today's industry. And again, you're saying, well, Scott, well, that's pretty cool. That's pretty ingenious. Yeah. I know you're struggling out there, and I know that you're trying to use the tools that are available for you to amplify your message, open opportunities, and then solve maybe challenges, right? So I was thinking, because of my background, I was thinking, well, who could I talk to consistently who has their fingers on the pulse of what's taking place within the world of marketing? And all I could come up with is that I'm going to be talking to my daughter, Molly Finch. And the reason is, as you could tell if you're looking out on video, I believe industry needs to have young thinking to succeed, to be able to move forward, to be able to create the marketing solutions that are necessary for you to succeed. And I said, oh, I gotta talk to my daughter. And you know what? She didn't disappoint. She's amazing. And of course, I'm saying it because she's my daughter, but I'm saying it because you'll see in the conversation that we had about email marketing, email campaigns, you'll say, oh, that's true. And we've got a series set up specifically around that. But to lay the foundation a little bit, to give you a little texture of where I came from, I pretty much, I took a company public with the help of many people. And then I retired. And then I didn't like retirement. And then I started an industrial maintenance company, staff augmentation, heavy equipment, a lot of river work, things like that here in Louisiana. And I kept on going down that road, and it's a very commoditized business if you want to get right down to it. Companies are very interested in the cheapest forklift driver, the cheapest whatever, fill in the blank. And it makes for a very difficult business model to have success and margin because it's just commoditized. And I came to the conclusion, because I needed to get off of my butt and learn more about marketing. The reason I needed to do that is because all of this stuff was going on. I had a team to do my marketing, but did I really understand what that meant? And I have to say humbly that I did not. I didn't understand the tools. I didn't understand the strategies that can be deployed as a result of these marketing solutions. So I said, I'm going to learn. And that began my journey into doing podcasting, and we can go into that much later. So the typical approach was going, Scott, learn about the social platforms. So I did. And I have seen a lot of changes happening in that. Scott, learn about email marketing. So been doing it for a number of years, seen a lot of changes, and I need new, young insights. Because you and I and many get stuck doing the same thing, thinking that we are doing what is necessary, that we're filling time with whatever, posting and sending out emails or whatever it might be, I've come to the stark realization that there is a need to see how things, marketing tools, have evolved. And because I'm just in my salt mine and I'm just doing it, do I, Scott, have the insights and am I exposed to the latest tools and techniques and strategies and all of the algorithms and everything that is impacting that message? Am I keeping current? So, again, trying to find somebody who has young thinking and how they look at business, how they look at industry, and to be able to apply that to help you move forward. So, case in point, here we are. We're going to be starting this series. Again, this is work in progress. Is it Young Thinking? I'm not sure if that's going to be the name of the podcast, or we'll settle on it and we'll have it more formalized. But right now we're in the iterative stage of everything. What we want to do is get stuff out, begin to test that water, find our voice, understand what is impacting, and you're going to be a part of that journey. So our first conversation is around email. I get it. You get it. You get emails all the time. You get form letters. It's just hammering on your inbox. And if you're like me, I look at it and I say to myself, well, I don't even look at it. I scroll. I just move on. And I posed this question to Molly and I said, here's what's happening. Nobody's looking at that email. I'm going through the process. I'm going through the exercise of creating these campaigns, right? Thinking that it's making sense and it's doing what it needs to do, when I know, because of me, people are just sort of scrolling through. It's making minimal impact. But there's a light at the end of the tunnel. There's a silver lining in this cloud. And Molly brings that full circle, and in that conversation, that banter back and forth. We're going to have another conversation around email marketing, start diving deeper. The reality is you, industry, need to be successful. And to be successful, you need to be able to tell your story effectively and use the tools that are available. Use the tools effectively so that your company succeed. That's a non-negotiable, non-starter. You need to succeed because society depends on you. That's how important you are to this particular platform as well as what you do. And I don't want you to walk away thinking that you're not appreciated. So we start with email, and then I start to try to crack into the topic of social platforms. And I'll just give you a little insight real quick, just a flavor. Is LinkedIn the professional social platform for us? Is it effective? Is it effective for small to mid-sized businesses? Are we using that? Because I know it's large businesses, they got an army of people who sit there and like the same stuff. I see it. You see it. But is it effective for small to mid-size and even large companies? Is LinkedIn effective? I have some thoughts. I won't go into it. But are there other platforms that are needed that you need to focus on to be able to bring in young talent into your business to be able to ensure that business is resilient and has that energy, that passion of success? You know, maybe TikTok is. Instagram, whatever other platforms out. Are you making that investment? Because I'll just be honest, LinkedIn appeals to old people. That's it. I said it. It's out there. I'm not saying that it's not important, but I'm just saying does my daughter, Molly, go on LinkedIn and sit there and surf and look and read and see all the stuff? And maybe not. So all I want to make sure is that as we go down this iterative process to develop this platform, a part of the Industrial Talk Network platform, that we are really diving deep and being real in the world of marketing and what is truly beneficial for you. I have some ideas. My daughter has great insights and young ideas, but come along, be a part of this journey, and we'll learn together. So here's my conversation and the beginning of this podcast. I like young thinking, but I'm not sure if that's going to fly. Maybe it's yesterday. Who knows? We'll figure out. So here's Molly. Hi, Molly.
Well, hey, Dad. How's it going?
I'm well. Thank you very much. Always great to see you.
Yeah.
Although you're just a few blocks away from me. I like that.
But we got to use technology and record it.
Yeah.
And record our conversations.
Anyway, how are you doing today?
Doing great.
You're late to the conversation, FYI. You were.
They say that again?
You were late to the conversation.
Well, when you have
dad wait
a 10-month-old needing to go down for a nap and
I'll go with that. All right. Listeners, we're going to be talking a little bit about a number of items that are near and dear to my heart. And quite frankly, as you can tell by the screen in the background, young thinking. I want young thinking. And the only way I can get young thinking is not talking to old guys like me, but talking to young people like my daughter, who is an absolute master at marketing. That's what I wanted to do. And then I wanted to share my pain and then the solutions that come through Molly, and hopefully that you will understand. So with that said, the first topic out of the gate, because I just so that you know, I just rattled off a bunch of things that frustrate me, and it was on a list, and I just gave it to Molly, and it was just sort of this vomiting of my problems, which is not good. I don't like that. But we settled on emails. So here's my beef with emails. I know me, and maybe I'm unique. Maybe I'm one that doesn't fit into that category, but I get emails. Mm-hmm. I get email campaigns. I don't look at them in my inbox, and I question the validity behind email today in the world of marketing. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, email marketing, that is one of the older side of tried and true side of marketing. And it almost feels like it's a must have. If you're going to go out into the market, we got to have email marketing. Okay, we've got to make sure that we are adding to our subscriber list. And it a lot of times feels like it's just a must have. We've got to do this. And then you do it. And then a lot of times crickets. I agree where you get sent emails, and 9 times out of 10, if it's a sender that you really don't care about, or you really don't, the information they're going to give you isn't going to be life-changing or impact you, more often than not, you're going to delete the email. So I don't know. Is that are there some senders that you get emails from that you just know, this is not worth my time? Because I think a lot of times too is that our time is so precious that we're not going to spend time. We know the type of email they're sending. We know the time of day they're sending it, and we don't have time to read this lengthy email because we know they're not giving us any value in our lives.
So here's the funny thing to that point. Okay, we have campaigns. It is
Mhm.
not that old thinking that's out there. I have an email campaign platform. I do
Mhm.
that. And something in the back of my head keeps chirping at me and saying, "Hey, Scott, you got to create an email campaign." And then I send it out, and why?
Yeah.
What efforts? The other thing that I struggle with, and again, I'll be the first to admit that maybe I'm not the market, and maybe there are other people out there
Mm.
that
Mm.
get into this stuff. But
Yeah.
for me, if I get an email and that email is not in bullet form and it's a lengthy paragraph, and
Yeah.
then I have to try to read through it, then I
Yeah.
have to try to comprehend what is going on. You know what happens to me, Molly? I flatline. I flatline. And then when I see that coming through again, what do you
Yeah.
think I do?
Delete.
I'm not going to read it. Nope.
No.
I don't even know if I delete. I just let it go and just,
Sit there.
take up my resources.
But because it takes so long to unsubscribe from email lists, you just let
Yeah.
them keep coming. 'Cause you're not gonna. You're like, I know I've got to follow this link to unsubscribe, and then I've got to let them know why I'm unsubscribing and click all the boxes, and then
Ah,
they're going to re-ask me again, "Do you want to unsubscribe?" So then you have all of these subscriptions that you don't care about, and they just keep coming, and that's about it.
it's so true, and it's so funny because when I get, this is how impatient I am. Do I have to move my mouse
Yeah.
and go and try to find that unsubscribe
Unsubscribe,
thing?
and
And
sometimes it's at the top, sometimes it's at the bottom. I mean, it's just a whole thing. It's a
you're
whole
right. You
whole
just
thing.
give up. It's like, nope, don't care. No,
It's true.
really.
It's so true. I think one of the things that's such a technical term, right? Things. One of the things
Yeah.
is
Internet of Things.
yes, that the you as the business own your email list. You have control over what you send to the people who have shown intent that they want to receive, whether that's because you gave them some sort of freebie promotion, whatever it is, they're on your email list and they've shown action and intent that they want to see more from you, that they care at some point, they've cared about your information. With other forms of marketing like social media, you're dependent on that platform to show your content, to show your business. You don't own it. So I do think there is something to be said for the importance of email marketing because you own that list. You have control over what you send them, when you send them information. You're not dependent on, I mean, what year was it where social media shut down? And think about all of those, I mean, ad campaigns and just all of the content that you have scheduled on your social platform, but the platform, you don't own it and it shut down. And I wonder how much money people lost because they've thrown all their eggs into the social media basket, but they don't own it. And so I think that there is something there that you own your email list, but it goes back to, so you own it, but then what? How do you make that content relevant? How do you get people to open it up? How do you speak to the people on your list? Like, for example, you're saying bullet form content is
Yeah.
way better than paragraph. I've heard that a lot. It depends on, the time of day you send it, all of those things. So I think there is something to be said for there is an importance with email marketing because of the fact that you own it and have control over it. I don't know. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I wonder, and I truly mean this. When I see when it comes from an email campaign platform, it looks a
Mhm.
certain way,
Yes.
and it's somewhat frustrating. And I right off the bat, I'm already turned off.
Mm.
Yeah, you own it, but I still believe, and I'm all in on you need emails. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's never. Let's just make sure that's foundational.
Yeah.
You need email.
Yeah.
Okay, I still use it. I still hit send. Hey, great. I try to in my emails. I work to try to be short, pithy, to the point,
Yep.
done, and not AI.
I was about to say, man, because you start to go down that road of short, pithy, hook, using all the hooks, in the copy, and you just put it through AI, and it's pretty. You can tell it's written by AI. So where is that fine line? I mean, it's a tightrope. You want to get the content out, you want to share it with your audience, but you've got AI as a tool to help with efficiency, which is great. But how do you make sure that you still sound like your business still has a tone, it's branding, it isn't just morphing into an AI version of itself, but it's staying true to what you offer, how you want to speak to your people. Exactly. Yeah, exactly that.
I think that for me, because I don't want that part of my brain with AI start to atrophy, and then I struggle going forward. I want all of the warts and all of the problems that I deal with in my email to reflect that it's me. It's me trying to put together a sentence and try to make it as human as possible. It's me, and I'm adamant about it. Now, I'm not saying that there's not time and place for leveraging that in your emails, but I'm just saying, hey, here's sort of a challenge.
So I think number one, in order to make your emails click worthy, assess how much are you leveraging AI. I think one of your most competitive creative edges is your own unique voice.
Yeah.
Is your business leveraging AI too much, and has it lost its voice?
It's the soul, the
correct.
The culture, the soul. It becomes
correct.
Sounds the same.
And I think that that's right. It sounds the same. You can open up from 10 different companies, and they all start with that jargon, that the buzzwords that AI is very good at generating. And are you quality controlling the content that you're putting out there in your email list? Because I believe that your subscribers will they catch on. I think lightning speed catch on that, like, okay, those emails they're sending AI generated, or it just doesn't sound like them anymore. I don't care. I'm not opening them up. And you just
know that it. And then it's already a hurdle for them to read your email. And then all of a sudden, if they just catch a little whiff of the fact that it's generated by an AI, forget it. Forget it. Try to get it back. Good luck.
And then also with emails, I mean, think about the AI generated images. Specifically when it comes in the industrial space, there is the slew of these AI generated images that I personally have such a problem with, because it just makes all of, let's say, the technicians on the manufacturing floor look just a little too polished, a little too perfect. And I just, oh my gosh, it makes it so unrelatable. And it almost, your company, what the emails that you're sending feel, the complete opposite of relatable. You already can tell, like, oh, whoever sent this email doesn't know what they're talking about, because they're using AI language and they're using AI generated images.
Yeah.
I can't relate to that.
See, I agree with you 100%. And I think you brought up something that is near and dear to my heart, and that's being relatable.
Yeah.
The reason we're talking is that it creates that human side, the real human side, not the AI generated human side, the real human side, with all of its, blemishes and challenges that come with speaking.
Yeah.
How do you take the email, the campaign? Because there are emails that I look at that I'm interested in. They happen not to be with much of the people that send me stuff, but there are ones that if it pops in, if I'll give you one, Amazon books. All right. I'm on unlimited. And then that Amazon email comes in. Hey, these are some books
Yep.
that you might want to consider for your Kindle. I'm all in.
Opening
What
it
is
up
it?
immediately. Exactly.
Look at it,
Mhm.
right? How do we create, from an industry perspective, something that's relatable? Because we're not. We're
Well,
not.
one thought that just came to me is I almost feel like there's a thought process or a feeling that you mentioned Amazon, the Kindle books, the unlimited books, and it's almost like, at least I've thought maybe in the past, that, well, that's just for Amazon Kindle books. Like, there's nothing with that email or that company that I can really learn from to then input or help it craft, use what I've seen there and help it craft an industrial company email. But I think that we can learn a lot from why, asking yourself
Yes.
the questions: why did I click that? Why did I want to open that up? Why do I care about this company and the new offerings that it has?
Yes.
And I think that can help shape, use those same principles and help it shape what you're doing in the industrial space.
Which you bring up a really great point. I intentionally, from a retail perspective, I intentionally subscribe
Mhm.
to specific retailers, and
Mhm.
whether I look at it, what I do look at is how they are communicating. What
Yes.
does that look like?
Yeah, what are the words? What
Are the wor-
word that made you, I gotta click that. I gotta know more. What,
Yes.
how are they? And I think it's a challenge and it's actual work, where, because again, we've really relied on AI for so much, but our brain is the biggest asset. To ask yourselves, what are the words they're using here? How can I take those words and put them into an email for my company? And I think it's we've overcomplicated it, but I think that you have to do that legwork. You have to take that time, write it out, noodle on it, think on it, and
Yeah.
then help it craft, use that to shape what you're crafting in the business side.
Yeah, but I think, and I'm a big advocate, and it is also in the world of sales,
Mhm.
in the world of marketing. I think that more than ever today, that you have to be able to show that human side.
Yeah.
You're human. And
Yeah.
and and as much as it, and industry's challenged by it. Sometimes we don't do that well.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
more you can bring in that human side, I think the better. And I again, I have my email campaigns. They look a certain way,
Mhm.
and they go out.
Mhm.
And quite honestly, is that time valuable, or am I just, which is beneficial?
Mhm.
Is it just for me to maintain some sort of attention? Just
Yes. Yeah.
it's
Top of mind.
they
Yeah.
might not give me the thumbs up or respond or
Yeah.
reshare, but they see
Mhm.
it.
Mhm. I think if we're thinking about, yeah, there's many
Yeah.
different things with emails, but I
Yeah.
think practically speaking, I think some tangible uh
Like
rethinking,
brand awareness, just brand awareness.
yeah, yeah, but I think some tangible things that I think, number one, look at, take stock of the emails that you open. Ask yourself, why am I opening these emails? And really
Yeah.
take time to write out the language, to write out the way that the email looked on, how did they list out the information? Was it bullet point? Was there a paragraph? Um, take stock of what you're opening, and if, because I think a lot of times too, I mean, you're probably the target market of, you could be a lot of times the target market of who you're trying to reach anyway. So you can ask yourself, what am I opening? Um, I think also recognizing to not rely so heavily on AI, to see it more as a productivity tool and not so much as a composition tool. I am curious from you, what are your thoughts on um, outbound links? So you want to, you got the links in the emails and then they take you somewhere. What are, how does that deter you from clicking the link? Are you, interested in clicking on it to learn more? I mean, how does that feel,
Yeah, in my email campaigns, I do have outbound links. It goes to my website and it highlights the conversation of whatever that podcast is. So I do have it. Do I personally see an email come in with outbound links in them? Do I?
Yeah.
If it's Amazon and I'm looking for a book, I do. But I try. There's a balance.
Yeah.
So when you do these campaigns, and you know as well as I do, the inclination of you trying to say, all right, I got this email. I'm going to throw everything in it. Everything. It's just jam full, and it's like, I'm going to throw everything in it. And then it nobody wants that. So the other question is it better to just be consistent with a campaign and make them small, like with information? I'll give you I'm looking for luggage. They send an email, and on that email is just really one click. Like, here. Simple. Okay, I can do that. I see it. Yeah. But
they send it at a certain time. Do you start to know, like, though, this is definitely their email coming through. I feel the ping on my watch. I know it's their email.
Yes. Let's see. As I look at my email, and like Amazon. Yeah. Company.
Right. That is an important piece too, is that keeping top of mind, but sending at a time that then you start to get recognized in that person's inbox, that this is how this company communicates with me. And I like that. I like the scheduled, I know when they're going to talk to me. I know when it's coming through. And that helps build that trust that, helps support and encourage more interaction with your brand. I think going back to the links, though, like the outbound links in the emails, I'm wondering if, you put those links because you want to track the engagement and you want to see the click-through rate. But that sometimes, I mean, I've experienced it where it does feel like you're being used and watched. You don't want to click the link because you know that they're going to be tracking your engagement. And it goes back to the heart behind why you're sending your emails. Are you just doing it because you got to tie your efforts into marketing efforts, you got to tie it back to revenue, but is everything you're sending just tying back to revenue through tracking the link clicks and really using your email subscribers, not engaging with them or caring about them? You're really just using them for data and analytics. I think there's a healthy mix of, you have those types of emails, but you also have those personal emails that really, again, there's no, you're not asking anything of them because you really care about your email subscribers and you really want to give them information that helps them. So you have a healthy mix of the two types of emails. One that helps them and gives them the information they need to help solve their problems in a genuine way. And then, yes, you do have those emails that track their engagement and you can help tie. But I think that those would then perform better because you really are caring about what you're sending your email list and you're not asking for something in return. You just want to help them.
Yeah, that's maturity.
Mm-hmm.
That's thinking a little bit different because in industry, and I always have to go back to industry, that we're very skilled at, yes, somebody says we got to do an email campaign. Okay, do an email campaign. I'll use this particular format, and then we just do it, and we just go and do it. I'm not sure if that I agree. I'm not sure.
Well, I think it's you have to shift your mindset that it's the long game. Do you want to build a relationship with your email subscribers? Yes. Does it take time? Just with any friendship that you've got over time, you recognize, oh, they're not really asking me for anything. I can tell they just want to help me through actual communication, not using AI. There's a desire from the company, has a heart behind it that says, I really do want to help. I care about the lives of the people that are subscribing to me, and I want to solve their pain points, not for any gain other than I care.
That's fundamental. I believe success comes with that other focus, complete. Not because somebody said that, yeah, you have to, be other focus, and you just sort of go through the motion, but really in your heart believe that it is truly to help that individual, company, whatever it might be.
Yes. You have to be genuine with that. And I know that's hard because it's a fast-paced world, and you want to get it out, and you need to tie your efforts back to some sort of revenue metric. Those are all those are necessary things and necessary metrics. I just think that maybe if it's really just shifting your mind, and I know that's so cliche, but a mindset shift to how will this help? But whatever I'm sending out, how will this help them? If it really doesn't help them, how can I actually have it help them, help their life in today, right now? Not for anything to get them to click or anything like that. How is this helping them? Am I being genuine? And start there. And I think that would then just transcend into a lot of different areas, but in your marketing.
Yeah. And I think with the understanding that it's truly a long tail strategy, it's not going to happen overnight. They're not going to say, oh my gosh, you've changed my world through this. And it's not going to be the case.
No.
But are you advocating that, one, there is still a need for email campaigns? Let's just take it at that. But to modify it to be more human, more caring, more focused on solving the problems. And I believe, now you correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm sincere about the desire to help the other, the company, the individual, I think just a natural outgrowth would be the tying in to revenue. It just sort of works out.
Yes. I mean, it really does go back to, do you believe that the products that you're selling can change lives, can improve someone's life for the better? And you really have to ask yourself that, because that will give you the heart connection to what you're writing, to what you're producing. That's everything. And then so yes, I do. I think email campaigns still have a place. I do think, though, that just as everything's moving so fast, and you're able to get things out the door so much quicker with AI, that it's really numbed us to, is what I'm producing actually, am I just producing for the sake of producing? And I think a lot of times, yes, you're just trying to hit that, I want to be top of mind, get in their inbox. But, you could do some testing saying, like, we're going to just stop some emails for a little bit, take a second. I can't imagine that your ship's going to sink if you do that. And really assess, so yes to campaigns, but I do think that there needs to be some fundamental change on how, you do that research of what am I even opening in my inbox, and have those discussions with your teams, creatively,
But there still is a sense of urgency. If you could do that relatively quick, and be able to iterate quickly, recognize that you've got those fundamentals. You're saying, okay, we need to be, real, and we need to not be AI, and we need to, do the right things, and make these campaigns predictable from a timing perspective of
Yep.
when, because I
Yep.
fail at that. Some days it's I'm mowing the lawn, it's like, I don't have it. Are there, do you, on a side note, do you do any campaigns on the weekend?
Oh gosh, I know that's a hard one.
You know
Because
what my thinking is?
what?
And I do it. I do it on the weekends, but my thinking was and is that these individuals, and it might be irritating, I don't know, but it's the weekend. They're not being distracted by the meetings that they have, right? And they're having a cup of coffee, and they're looking at their cell phone. They are. I know that. So there it is. I'll fire it out on a Saturday during their coffee.
And see, no, and as you're talking, if your brand is one that's received well, then there is not going to be an annoyance. But I'm thinking of just the generically produced, industrial companies, emails that, yes, that would be then very annoying if it was sent on the weekend. I really only expect to get those types of emails Monday through Friday, definitely not Friday, or I'm not reading it on Friday.
Not on Monday, not on Friday. No.
So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's the only time that I find it acceptable to get something that I know was AI generated. I think that, again, yes, if your brand is seen as this is helpful, this is, yes, helpful, relevant content, then I don't think there's any issue with. I have someone that sends me something every Sunday morning, and that's when she sends her emails, and I 9 times out of 10 open them up, and I find that to be very fascinating that she sends them Sunday mornings. And I like her content because I actually can see that she's written what I feel like she wrote what she's putting in there. It's relatable. But she knows her audience. But I think, again, she's positioning her content as actually helpful. Like it literally, it doesn't ever feel like she's asking something of me, if that makes sense.
Yeah. See, that's interesting. I might have to question whether I don't know. I've always sent it out on a Saturday. It's like, here's the industrial news that you might not have heard. Here are the links, to the conversations, and they're here, that type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, and with that, I mean, it can help be helpful because it can help shape conversations for their upcoming week. And you're giving your brain, like, the person's brain has time to just kind of to receive the information. It's in a state of wanting to learn. That there you go. I'm equipped with what I need to then go into my upcoming week, whether it's sales meetings or whatever, with the latest.
I like that. That's good. I never thought of it that way. It's I'm more in like, look what I did. A drink from a fire hose. This is what I did. You're gonna like it. You're gonna think. Yeah. No, that's outstanding. All right. Let's wrap it up.
Yeah.
Sort of in a very concise way.
Yeah.
Sort of, talk about some of those call to actions of the action items. Just make it happen. Tell me.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm thinking, take an assessment, take an inventory of the emails that you receive from different companies. Doesn't matter their industry or background. Take an assessment. What made you click on it? What about the email flow do you like? What do you not like? What are those emails that you're definitely not clicking on to? Do the reverse of it and say that one always goes into delete, or it's a part of the multiple delete option where I delete multiple emails at the same time. Why am I deleting those? Take inventory. That can literally take you could get somewhere probably in 5 to 10 minutes if you're focused on it. Clear your distractions. I think write out a list of the words that made you click on those emails and start creatively thinking, how can I put those exact words into my own email copy? I think look at the structure of the emails. What speaks to you? Is it bullet point form? Is it paragraph form? And kind of start to put that into your email campaigns. Stay away from AI generated images as best you can and AI generated language. Really remember that like your tone is your secret weapon. Your brain, your creativity is going to that you got to keep that, because that's the human side of what you're sharing through the words that you write, and no one else is you. So really try to use those muscles, to flex those muscles. I think that you need to finally start to think about, yes, you need links to click. Yes, you need to track your metrics, but how can you, either if it's certain kinds of emails, start to change your mindset to, I really coming from a place of wanting to help and genuinely wanting to help your email list with the problem that you solve. Don't always send emails that require them to take action. That way they don't feel used, that you really are giving them information just for the sake of helping them. I think that if you start to implement that, then all of those other pieces start to work together. Yeah, I think that's, I think
move. Just do it.
Move. Yeah.
Yeah, and have some sort of disciplined cadence.
Yes.
I can definitely improve upon that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I don't know, man. So I was very frustrated with email campaams because I thought, what a waste of time.
Yeah.
Now I don't feel like it's a waste of time. You. No,
you're energized.
I am. I was like, yes, I'm all in now. No, because no, I really was. I was very, I was in a block. I was thinking, is this really the people really? Because I'm every bit as bad. When I see email campaigns come through, I come on. I don't want to.
One trick that I've heard is that when you're writing, and it can be across like social media copy too, and it, because my gosh, so many things is built on like the words that we use, the writing, and we're not all master writers, but but we
no, I'm not.
I'm not either. But what I've heard is that you think about when you're writing that email or that social caption, who are you talking to? Like actually think of someone that you know, that you're writing it to. And that's going to automatically, you're not just writing it out to, oh, I'm talking to 10,000 people. No, I'm just talking to this person that I literally added to my email list that I know in person. We've had, you know the person, talk to them, write like you're writing to them.
Yeah, see? I like that. I like that a lot.
I think it's helpful. I think it brings it down.
I'm going to send things that are misspelled and punctuation stink, Yeah, I'll do it. I'll be myself.
There you go.
All right. Goodness. Well, excellent. You know what topic I want to talk about outside of all the other topics?
No.
Webinars.
Oh, yes. That's a good one. Yes. I mean, this will not be a webinar, but it'll be a podcast talking about webinars. Oh,
yeah, that's another
a good one. That's a good one.
And along with all the other stuff we were talking, like social media platforms.
Oh, yeah.
What's good? What's not so good?
Yep.
What are the drivers? Right? It's just there's so much to cover for me, because you're helping me think young thinking, young thinking. I need that. Industry needs that. You're my daughter, Molly. You were great.
Well, Dad, I've had a great time. Great chat.
I can't wait for the next conversation.
Yes,
thank you very much.
Yes. Talk soon.
Right. Cheers.
You're listening to the Industrial Talk Podcast Network.
All right. I'm not going to belabor this closeout much, but as you can see, there's a lot of opportunity for you to succeed, a lot of information that you can begin to use yesterday. And you need to do it with speed, iterative. That's why we're rolling this podcast out. It will change. It will get better, but we're moving forward. We're not looking for perfection. We're looking for progress, and you're a part of this, and we want to be able to deliver this information, the strategies that can help you succeed. So we're going to have a lot more. I love the fact that we touched upon briefly webinars. That's a big one for me. I don't know. I want you to succeed. So maybe webinars, maybe there's some way of being able to really leverage webinars so that you achieve what you need to do from business. All right. That's it. And thank you for listening. We're going to have another one. We're going to have another great conversation. We're going to be talking again about email marketing. So stay tuned. I guarantee you I'll improve upon this intro shortly.